Welcome back to another Flutter Form tutorial. In this episode, let's learn how to work with slider and switch widgets in Flutter. So in Flutter, you can create switch UI by using the switch widget. A switch widget is a toggle widget that is used to select two states on and off or between two values, true or false. This widget does not maintain its own state. Instead, it's called the onChanged callback method when a user interacts with it, requiring us to update a boolean variable within the setState call to reflect the new value change. So when do you use switch widgets in Flutter? We use switch widgets when we need the on and off option or true or false values. One example is creating settings for your apps. So we usually have a few options to create switch UI in Flutter. We can have the switch default name constructor. This is a standard material design widget for switch. We also have the Cupertino switch widget. This is a iOS version of the switch. We also have the switch.adaptive name constructor that automatically renders material design switch for Android or Cupertino switch on iOS. And we also have the switch list tile. This is a combination between the switch and the list tile widget, allowing you to add a label or a subtitle to your switch. So for this episode, let's keep using the same app as we've been using throughout this tutorial series. So let's go inside of this page and create a new file. You can name this file switch underscore slider underscore page dot dart. Then let's select the option to use a stateful widget because we want to manage their state. So change the name right here to be switch slider. And then let's create a page for these widgets using a scaffolding widget. So here, let's open this radio underscore page and let's copy these properties right here. For the app bar, just paste it right here and change the title to be switch and slider widgets. Then let's call the body property. And here, let's use a column widget. And then inside of this column widget, let's define the main X alignment and also the cross X alignment. For the main X alignment, let's use the value center. And then for the cross X alignment, let's use the value as stretch. After that, call the children property. Here, we'll define the switch widget and then the slider widget. So first of all, let's add a text widget. This can be a constant text widget actually. And then for this text, let's make this one notification. So give it a comma right here. We can align it using the text alignment with a value of center. And we can also apply some styles to it. So for this style, I want the font size to be 18 and then the font weight to be bold. Give it a comma right here. Let's also define a constant size the box widget. And here let's define the height property and the value will be 10. So after that, let's call the switch dot adaptive name constructor. So for here we have two required property. We have the value property, which is expecting a boolean value, and then the onChanged callback method. So if you hover over it, you will see we have more properties to customize, like the color. We have right here the active color, active track color, inactive thumb color, inactive track color, and so on. So for the value, let's create a new local variable of type boolean. So this will be bool, make it private, and let's call this is switched. And initially the value will be false. So copy this variable right here and let's assign it to the value. And then right here on the callback, let's define anonymous callback. And let's define a boolean as the value that will get as the user change the values. So here we just have to call the set state and then call our local variable. This will be equal to this value that will get as the user change the switch. So give it a comment right here, copy again size box widget, paste it. So now we also have to call another text widget. So let's display the value that the user selected. So say notification is for the text, and then do colon. Let's do a string interpolation. So here we can get this is switched, and let's check if the value is true. I want to display on. Otherwise, I want to display the value as off. Give it a comma right here. Let's use text alignment to center this text widget. So give it a comma right here. Let's also copy this size box widget, paste it here, and also let's call a constant divider widget. So save everything. Now let's copy the name of this widget and let's call it inside of this main dot. Make sure you import the statement. Now save everything. As you can see, the value is off. When you click on it, this is on. So this is how we can add switches in Flutter. So now let's add a label to it. So for that, you can come right here, click on the switch widget, and then select the option to wrap with a row widget. Then in front of the switch widget, let's define a constant text widget. And then for the text, let's call this notification. Add a comma right here. And also let's define the main axis alignment. Let's use the value as a space between. So save everything. Let's also wrap this row widget with a pattern widget so we can have some patterns between the content inside of this page right here. So now we have defined our switch widget. Let's also change the color. Instead of using this green, you can come right here and you can call this active color. So let's come right here and copy the value for the color right here. So copy and paste it here. So now the color is black when the switch is on. So now let's format our document. Let's learn how to work with slider. Slider, as the name suggests, is a widget that allows you to slide between a minimal value and a max value. So for this episode, let's use this slider.adaptive. So here the value will be a double, and here the onChanged callback method will expect also a double as an argument. So come right here, define out your callback. This will take double as an argument. You can call this value. Inside of it, let's call the set state. And here, let's define a value they will get from this value variable right here. So come right here, and this will be of type double. You can call this private current value. And the value will be 20. Copy this property right here. Assign to this value property here. So now let's call this current value. This will be equal to the value that will get as an argument. So now you can copy the size box widget and the text widget. Come here, paste it here. And now let's say the current value is and here you can do current value dot and do a toString. So now if you save everything as it is, we'll get an error. This is because we need to also provide the minimum value and the maximum value for our switch. So if you hover over it, you will see we have these properties right here, min and max. So let's define those. So for the min value, the value will be 0.0, and then for the max value, the value will be 100. We also have the label property, and we can do right here the current value and do a toString to it. So now save everything. So now you can see by default the value is 20. So now we can increase or decrease the value. But notice the value right here is in decimal. If you want to get a double, you can come right here and you call this property right here division. This will take an int. Let's say the division will be 5. So every time we drag this thumb, we see the value will increase by 20. If you want to decrease the value, you can increase right here the division size, let's say now to be 10. And now our current value will increase by 10, 10, 20 until 100. So again, this also can allow you to apply some customization right here to active color. So you can copy this property right here for the active color, copy and paste it right here. So this is it for this video. This is how we can work with slider and switch in Flutter. In the next video, let's learn how we can add these widgets inside of a form widget. So for that, let's learn how to work with another widget. If you find this video useful, give a like and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notification when new videos are coming out. This is it for this video. See you on the next one.